someone was shoplifting, a mother was shoplifting. She had several children, and the police officer, instead of arresting her, decided to let her go and take her some groceries to her home to help her feed her children. Now, he was a white officer and she was a black mother. The reason why I want to bring this up is because we are so focused on race and how different races treat each other. Mm-hmm. But not everybody is like that. Not everybody sees color and differences. And on at the table, I want us to understand we don't see color or differences. We all have our own individuality, but as Yamaja said, we are humans only by our limitations. We are spirit beings having a human experience, and that means we're all in life together. Living may have its hiccups, but how we handle it is a choice. And I want you to take away something from this table to help you handle life and choose it positively and stop looking at the differences and look at the fact that we all are in life together. We're all struggling. We're all bleed. We all have needs and emotions. So that's what I'm bringing to the table today. I want us to eliminate the differences and understand that we are in life together, regardless of the hiccups that living may have. So as we move forward with the topic of the day, I want to start with Everett. Everett, the topic of the day, how did you choose it? And what is it that you want the listeners or the viewers to get from it?
I chose dis-ease as an acronym originally because when I speak to people that deals with negative thinking, negative perceptions, I view it more so as not an issue, but more as a dis-ease. It's something that they're not comfortable with. Like Sister Stacy said, she come to people out of the box, and a lot of people today are afraid to actually view or even listen to another person that's not in their actually proximity of a box that they've actually put people in. So when we talk about dis-ease, I looked the definition up of disease because dis-ease is basically a disease. It's a disease that people inherit based on their own selfish perceptions of not being able to view people outside of the box. And so disease is a structure or form in a human. And that means that human being no longer is seeing another person as a human being, but they've put a title on them. They've put a brand on them. They've put a definition to them and not realize that these are the diseases in the world that has caused racial profiling, that's causing division, that's causing good and evil, because we know there's one force that we all live under in this universal heaven, and that force is love. But when there's no love, then there's room for dis-ease or diseases. And from that stems all kinds of diseases, physical diseases, mental diseases, nutritional diseases. So that was why I chose the subject and the topic of it, because I look at people that behave like that as if they have a dis-ease. They're not comfortable with the way God made us as individuals, but as the scripture says, in different administrations, different workings, different expressions. We're all the same on this line. Like you said, we all bleed the same. We all breathe the same air. We all serve the same God, but in different towns or cities or countries, he goes or she goes by different names according to the tongue. But we all are one human body, one human being. But when we begin to look beyond us as a human being, we now put stipulations and perceptions on one another, which brings disease. And disease is a breaking down and a tearing down of the human body.
Wow. Lisa, when you heard that the topic was going to be about diseases, what did you think and what do you have to say about it?
Well, what I immediately thought about it is a quote that I love, and it says, "Health is the proper relationship between microcosm, which is man, and the macrocosm, which is the universe. Disease is a disruption of this relationship." You know, we often forget that we are nature, and talk about connection. We've lost that connection. When we say that nature is not separating, you know, we say that it's something that's separate from us, but it's really not. We are part of it. We're earthlings. We were born on an earth, and God put us here for a reason. And we were supposed to be the gardeners and tend to the garden. And we've lost sight of that garden. And right now we're just tending to it. We're not the gardener anymore. We're giving that power away. When we say we've lost our pathway to nature, we've really lost our connection to ourselves. So that's the dis-ease, is that, you know, who is Lisa? Who am I? And it really is about reconnecting, and healing comes from that place within. So it really is, it's not a sacred, that's the sacred place. I don't have to be in a temple, or I don't have to really be outside. All I have to do is just go within, and sync up with that ocean tide inside me. You know, I'm grounded, I'm reconnected to nature, I'm reconnected to my whole self. And when my mind nourishes my body with those carefree thoughts and feelings, my body returns to its natural state of happiness, that tranquil place inside. I'm able to reclaim the memory of who and what I really am, a spiritual being, like you said, interconnected with that creative power of the universe, where all their unlimited possibilities and renewable energies.
I'm a little slow, but you're recording on another platform as we speak. I keep seeing you going from screen to screen. Are you recording, or you just looking at? Oh, I thought she was multitasking. But either way, okay, I'm going to say my remarks for last. Stacy, our newest guest, please tell us, when you saw the topic about being dis-ease, what did you think, and what do you have to say about dis-ease?
I think it's interesting the way Everett said it, and what Lisa said about it. I think when Lisa said you have to be grounded, I think more of us need to be grounded, and whatever it is that we believe in, whoever it is we believe in, we need to focus on that and not let man distract us. I think that's a lot of the problems, because if we focus on what we believe in, and if we believe in love and we concentrate on that and stand firm in it, we won't allow the chaos. You know, we won't feed into the negative media. You say you love everybody, but you're allowing the media to make you start hating. What is it that you believe in?
Yeah.
Come on now. Let me save my comments. Sassy girl.
Sassy girl.
Dis-eases.
Well, when I saw the topic, I looked at it holistically, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, being in this human body that we were talking about earlier. And I went back to my own life. And what I had to do, what I had to remember is that we've been domesticated. From birth, we were domesticated. We were domesticated in the ways of the world and the ways of man, not the ways of God. From the moment we took our first breath, we came in with a pep, and then we started crying. We were in the world. And from that moment on, the innocence that we had was taken away by programming from government, education, parents. You look at it holistically, and even the Bible, because I know that that's what programmed me and allowed me to not believe in what was inside of me. And that's not true for everybody, but that was true for me. I was told, I was shamed that I wasn't good enough. And what I have to do now is unprogram. I have to practice different things. And I don't believe that there is a box. I believe a box is man-made. God did not create boxes. God created diversity. God created us all individually. And with that, when we can uncover that, right? And I call it discovering a relationship with God and me, myself, and I, because me, myself, and I come first. And when I can learn to love me, myself, and I with God's love, made in love, by love, for love, I'm going to treat me and all my dis-eases mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in a loving way. And then I can't give it if I don't have it for myself. I have to discover and uncover. I have to have it here first, in my heart first. It resides in my soul and in my spirit. And I'm going to be quiet because I just go on, okay?
Stacey, I think your phone buzzed. You probably need to put it on silent because you blinked out there for a minute.
Oh, I think it's my internet. The phone's off. I'm on the laptop.
Oh, don't worry about it. But you look good. You look good. I just want to say yes, 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 and yes. I just love the input that you all have, and it's not too much more I can say except I agree. Dis-ease. I brought that up about racial tension, but the differences are causing dis-eases either through a learned pattern of behavior or an assumptive pattern of behavior. Some people have no clue; they just assume, and then they follow that belief pattern, and it is not productive. So the diseases are not necessarily physical. The diseases are not necessarily about the pandemic. It's whatever makes you uneasy that causes you to have negative reactions toward a person, situation, your environment, or whatever. It's a level of dis-ease. And for me, the only thing that works for me is like Yamaja said, Lisa and the other two, we have to go within and not allow the outside interferences to influence us to the point where we're no longer comfortable with who we are and the differences that the others have. And so my original statement is we're all in life together. Living may have its hiccups, but not only do you decide how much of a hiccup you're going to be, but you decide what you're going to do about the hiccups in your life. So moving on to Everett, I thank you so much for that topic. I'm just really, I just could go on and on about it, but let me just ask you another question. You mentioned you had surgery. I don't want to go into specifics about that, but if we talk about it from a healthy point of view, how does your faith play into dealing with physical issues that you may or may not have?
I have high esteem in my faith because number one, going in, of course, as humans, we have a little fear that comes about, but I began to speak faith, and I know that if I agree with the Most High God, then that's what it takes. It takes for me to agree with the Most High God and not so much of how I'm feeling, because my soul, my mind, will, and emotions, has a tendency to adapt to what we see. And so I realized that I made it out of it. I'm here today. And knowing that I'm here today and I'm here to see you all and you all are here to see me, I know that it is nothing but the faith that I had. And that's the same faith that I will use to continuously propel me forward in my recovery and my healing. Just this topic alone, as far as faith, I had got a call 2 days before my surgery from my job that said that they wanted to separate from me. And when I got hurt on the job, and I'm like, wait a minute, 2 days before I go to surgery, you call me and you tell me you want to separate. So I began to speak my faith that this too will come to pass and this is not going to go down like this. So our faith is an exercise. It's an exercise of the dis-ease that we may get coming in, the information that we're going to get coming in mentally. Because when we talk about dis-ease, we see that that topic has along with it mentally, physically, as well as nutritionally. But on a mental thing, it takes a high level of faith. It takes you not only to believe in something, but to have fruition. Take your faith, your belief, your faith, and then it also has to come into fruition. So too much time, we as a people can stay stuck in just faith, that we continuously believe in the faith. We don't have the manifestations of what the fruition is to come from the faith that we ought to have. So I began to speak the fruition, the manifestation of what was going to be, because I know that the Most High God is not going to allow all this to take place. And for me at one point be affected financially, especially a father of 9, and so I got a call after the surgery to basically say, hey, we kind of was jumping the gun, making a mistake. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you 12 weeks of FMLA. So, you know, again, it's a matter of exercising your faith, not just having faith just to believe in that faith, but having a faith to bring into fruition, you know, because faith is seeds. And if we water those seeds with our words and what God says we should say, and not what the dis-ease of the enemy, which I call the inner me, because your biggest enemy is your inner me. You know, we get caught on the external of things, and we feel, you know, we gather that fear, and we lose faith in not we I believe Sister Jubilee said, we lose faith in me, myself, and I, because that me, myself, and I is connected to the Most High God. So when you allow that faith to become your fruition, because it says faith is now. That means that you begin to manifest now because you're in agreement and atonement with God. You're in atonement to what he says, and what he said, I came to give life. And so we ought to begin to let faith be the fruition of the abundance of life over diseases.
My. Did we just get a preach right there? That's so to me. And you know what? I'm loving the order of this because Lisa is next. And I know she's going to tap right into that. But the energy, it's important that we all understand. We may communicate it differently, but all of us believe in energy, the spiritual energy that we have, regardless of how we refer to it as he, she, them, or they. But it's all about energy. And Everett talked about the energy that he spoke life into his financial and employment situation. He spoke life into it. He didn't react. He was proactive. He said, I'm not going to let this take place. So I'm going to speak into existence what I believe to happen. So Lisa, as far as you have not hesitated to talk about some of your emotional and physical trials on these episodes. So when you talk about dis-ease, what does dis-ease mean to you, and how does your faith play a part in it?
Well, again, the dis-ease is the separation. It is the separation from my true self, my whole self. It's letting go of the ego self. And I did that, that was my conversation with God, as you would. 3 years ago when my thyroid went off, went off the reservation. And it was really I had to understand first what was happening to me biologically. Okay. So I had a lot of fear going on. And that's human. We're all human, and that's the first thing. Our mind loves that, by the way. It loves drama. And fear is a lot of drama. So immediately my mind went to that. And that's when I said, God, this is where I need your help in understanding this fear and this suffering that I'm going through. And what is it that you need me? First, we all ask the questions, don't we? Whether you do it out loud or internally, why me? Why now? My business was just taking off. And then I started to ask better questions. Okay, I'm going through suffering. There must be a reason for this. Yes, there is. And that's when I began to hear God. I could hear him talking to me on a level of energy. So the energy came to me and explained to me, what was going on in my life. And because I was in a lot of fear, I was not going to be able to heal biologically. Okay, because when we're in that, it's the fight, flight, or freeze mode. Or you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. It's right. So it's fight or flight. I'm going to fight my way out, okay, or I'm going to leave. And most of the time I leave because I already have enough stress, or had enough stress in my life at the time. I didn't need any more. So I did not want to fight anything. And it's an invisible disease that we're fighting as well. Okay. this right here, I can't see it because of the box, but this right here, you know, we're constantly fighting with that mind, that brain. And what happens is when we're in that fight, flight, or freeze, there is no way that we can heal biologically. Okay. So I needed to get back into, and that's when meditation came into my life. And it took me to a level of understanding, especially with myself and the way I was reacting to life. And I was reacting to life. Okay. Something happened and Lisa reacted. So it's all about having that toolkit and that support system in place. So when the tsunami does hit, and guess what? We got another tsunami, didn't we? Uh, you know, it wasn't personal, but it was personal because the whole universe was affected by this, and I'm part of that grand human, so I was affected as well. So, you know, when you've got that going on, your body's inflamed and there's no healing to go on. So it was really understanding, giving me the tools that I needed, which he did, the people, the resources, so that I could get back into what we call a parasympathetic state, a healing state.
Healing state. Before we move on to Stacy, on the scale of energy, you mentioned one thing, fear. Where's the fear on that scale?
So fear is pretty low when we talk about the measurement or hertz of an emotion. So fear is probably right around 50 hertz. It's pretty down. It's, you know, fear, anger, resentment. Those are really, the lowest of the low is shame. And once people hit shame, and I think I've given this example, you know, for instance, Robin Williams, he was so low, his vibration was so low. That's about 20 hertz. That's where cancer is, by the way, around 20 hertz. So it was hard for him to come out of that. He didn't have what he needed. He didn't have maybe, I don't know if he had God or not, you know, but that's the biggest support system I have. And he's the one feeding me all this information. So
The big G is
the big G is giving me what I need.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Dis-ease. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. When you saw the title dis-ease, did you automatically think about something health-wise? And what do you think about dis-ease and where you are now?
I thought about health-wise, and I was listening to Everett talk about his faith and how it's gotten him through. Health-wise for me is like, at one time I questioned my faith. I'm hoping that my faith is building to get me through what comes my way. But when my mother got sick, I guess it was my fear. After listening to y'all, I guess it was my fear that had me asking God, why isn't my size faith enough to save my mother?
Mm-hmm.
So at first I didn't recognize that it was necessarily fear. All I knew was I heard that the Bible says a mustard seed of faith is all you need.
Mm-hmm.
So I came down on myself thinking, wow, I thought I had that.
Mm-hmm.
But then after, as far as the disease, and I hope you guys are understanding me, what I did not realize was it was time for my mother to go, but in the process, God was doing something to me. Because had I not gone through that with my mother,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be bold enough to talk to you guys today.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have this drive, you know? So I'm working on my faith. And when I hear other people talk about faith, and Lisa, you're talking about energy, I just hope that I've got that faith that'll sustain me. And whether it's dis-ease or disease, I'll get through it.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Well spoken, Stacy. Sassy girl, I know you are understanding the energy, understanding the spiritual relationship, understanding, because she talked about her mom and ALS, and you understand what it's like to have illness or sickness in the family. So what I want to ask you, dis-ease, give your interpretation of dis-ease and how you handle it spiritually.
If I'm understanding it correctly, fear.
No, Yamaja, are you there?
Yes.
Did you understand the question?
No, you addressed it to Stacy. So
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
still thinking about Stacy.
Yes.
You know, Stacy has a special place in my heart.
Okay.
She touched my heart. I'm sorry, Yamaja.
Yeah.
Understand that I'm asking you, what is your interpretation of disease and how do you handle it spiritually? I apologize, Stacy. You just touched my heart.
Okay.
Well, I think we've already said previously in what everybody's response is, it's just being discontent and not satisfied with who you are internally. And the first thing that's important to me is my spiritual connection. When I do not have a spiritual connection, I have dis-ease. My spiritual connection has to come first through prayer, meditation, however you want to put it, and go. I consider nature as well. When I am not connected to God, nothing flows right inside of my brain, inside of my thinking, inside of my acting. Nothing flows right. And I go back to an example, you were talking about faith. Now, I never knew what faith was, but my mother taught me how to have faith. When I was 12 years old, one of my legs, my left leg was 5 inches shorter than my right leg. All right. And she, as a mother, was very, very concerned. And she would be crying. She would be praying. And then she took me to the doctor and I had to wear the shoe that was built up. Well, she decided that I didn't need to wear the shoe. That's what she decided on her faith. So she prayed over me at 12 years old. And I learned through her having faith how to have faith for myself. And I was relieved. My leg grew back. And for that Christmas, she bought me a pair of little flat ballerina shoes, and I was running all over the place. I knew I was healed because of that, because of my mother taught me how to have faith. And then when my grandmother died when I was in high school. And when she died, on the day of the funeral, I picked up my cousin and I broke my arm. My left arm shattered. And here I am. I was in so much fear. I didn't know what to do in high school, 17 years old. Again, my mother had faith. She believed me because the rest of the people around me didn't believe that they thought I was faking it. My father took me to the doctor and they examined it and it had shattered just like you do a broken pencil. Okay. But again, they told me that I might have cancer because we were talking about cancer previously. At 17 years old, I was scared. I don't want to use a cuss word, but I was scared. Okay. I was so afraid. But my mother's faith, she taught me how to have faith and to believe that everything was going to be okay. And it was okay. So now I know that my mother was very connected spiritually. All right. So I use that as a foundation that I have to be connected in order to not experience all these things that are coming at me from the world externally. And it's like Edward was saying about inner side of me. The enemy will bring me things to my mind, my body, and my spirit. They're telling me I'm not enough. You're not okay. Who do you think you are? Or you think you got it going on? And I use prayer and meditation to negate all that self-talk that will come and permit me from expressing who I am, and eliminates the dis-ease physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And then it also allows me to be in relationship with me, myself, and I, and with other people that I come in contact with.
Me, myself, and I. We talked about a lot of the things that you have accomplished. Being a poet is one of them. On each episode, you'll be bringing something that you've personally written. What are you bringing today to share with us? Would you like to read it, please?
Yes. This was a declaration that I wrote combined from years. About a couple of months ago, I rewrote this for the times that are now, and I felt like it needed to be said now, and I graciously will read it to you. It says, "This body, my body, is created in love, by love, for love. My body is a gift from the source, from the big G. My body is a gift. My body is the vessel that houses my soul and my spirit. I love and embrace my beautiful, sensual, sexual, vibrant body. I now treat my body physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually with RESPECT. I treat it with respect, like Aretha Franklin says, right?
Yeah.
I bless and I honor my divine vessel, my body temple. I effortlessly embrace and embody with grace and ease, agility, balance, strength, mobility, flexibility, and stamina. And I now transcend effortlessly all thoughts, behavior patterns of emotional pain and physical pain, and any illness, any disease of mind, body, and spirit that would prevent me from not being the highest version of myself. I am filled with vim, vigor, and vitality. And I embrace everything about my body temple. I hug my body. I love my body, and I shower it. And I stand in front of the mirror every day and tell my body how precious it is. I love and I accept me, myself, and I. I feed my spirit with prayer and meditation. I walk and I commune with God. I commune with Mother Nature. I feel and I thank God, and I nourish my body with healthy, nutritious foods and drink. And I now sizzle with zeal, joy, and passion for just being alive. With a glad heart of gratitude, I am filled with ever increasing happiness and ever increasing joy each and every moment of the day. And I now embrace myself as being the radiant expression of love, beauty, a joyful expression of the big G, God. And so it is.
And so it is. And there you have it, sassy girl. I look forward to every other week when she comes on at the end of our shows with some type of inspirational, personal writing that she's done. So thank you for that. Is there a title to that piece?
Well, I have not titled it. It's a declaration. It's a creed of how I would treat me, myself, and I. It's a declaration.
Creed of me, myself, and I. How about that?
Yes.
You're going
Yes.
to call it the creed of me, myself, and I. Even if you want to repeat that again, you can do that, okay?
Yes.
Lisa, as we come to a close of this episode, please give any closing remarks and tell the listeners how they can find you.
Okay. Well, I guess my closing remark would be that we need to take a good look at our stress levels and what's going on in our lives. And because that's 90% of the dis-ease that we have in this country is stress. So the way that I do that is with gratitude. And it's a great way to deal with fear. And who does not have fear? Changing my fear to fascination. And understanding where that fear is coming from. So I do that every morning, and in my morning prayer is that with God, and I'm just so grateful that for each day that I have health and well-being in my life, and that my family has it. And I pray for, of course, my who's ever in my heart and on my mind. And right now, talk about something a little funny is like, that's my standard prayer. And then I've kind of like put a little extension onto that recently is God, everybody in my heart and mind, which is probably about the whole world right now. So
Yeah,
I'm praying for their healing as well, and just being grateful each and every second of every day, and living with that present moment awareness. And whenever I start to feel those fear thoughts coming in, and they will, I say to myself, right here, right now, Lisa, right here, right now. And what it does is it brings me back to this moment, not to the past, not to the future, but just right now. You have everything you need, and everything is working out for you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Stacey,
So mine.
go ahead.
They can email me, Lisa@lisahealthy.com. You can check out my website at lisahealthy.com. and read some of my blogs that I've written. And you can phone me. So 804-539-3251.
Lisa, you also have been doing some videos on health. Tell them about that. Is that going to be a regular? Tell them how they can find those.
Yes. If you go to the groups, Heal RVA, we've been doing wonderful. We've come up with, we want to bring this to the neighborhood, by the way, to the community. So it's called The View of Wellness. And we are doing regular podcasts and talking about specific subjects. And this past one this week was health is your health is your best defense. And that's available. I think I did include it on the link for the at the table, so people can actually click on that and listen to it. But it's really all about, creating a survival kit right now, because we need one.
Absolutely. Yamaja, I did not ask your contact information. I know you're going to say they can find you on Facebook, but do you have anything coming up? Do you do spoken word events online? Do you have anything that you want to share with the audience about your book readings or anything?
Well, what I have coming up, I have an interview with you on June 8th.
Yes.
That's the thing that I have coming up now. I don't have anything planned, especially, but I'm working on the thing that I'm working on, and I'll let everybody know, is having my own YouTube channel. Okay, I'm working on that today because I'm going to be putting downloads from the Big G, the God and the Goddess on them, because that's what I've been getting. Those things are the things that I get doing.
Excuse me.
So that's going to be up and running, I guess, in a couple of weeks. And when I come next time I come back on the show, I'll tell people if it's finished. And I'm working on my website, but they can contact me through Facebook Messenger. And my phone number is 434-808-2472. That's 434-808-2472. Give me a buzz. Hook me up with you.
All right, everybody. I'm loving that. I am Stacey Thomas. Don't put you in the box no matter what. Get yourself together, because guess what? She's the boss. I love those t-shirts. Stacey, give us some closing remarks. Tell us all about your books, your t-shirt, your lipstick. Tell them everything they can find.
Well,
Look, I just decided I'm going to have to start wearing makeup, but I'm going to get some of that lipstick and eyeliner from her makeup collection, because it's all natural. I'm giving you a plug.
Okay.
I'm going to do that. I am Stacey Thomas. I'm the boss t-shirt. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you, Miss Benita. Y'all just so full of energy on this group. Everett, Miss Jamaja, Lisa, Miss Benita. I just love sitting and listening to y'all, and thank you for the conversation. And for anybody that's watching, I just want to remind people what I remember growing up, people saying, you better stay prayed up. I think you better stay prayed up. I think you need to concentrate on your own house and not so much as what's going on in society.
Amen.
And forgive me if you may say this isn't the platform, but I would like to say, for all of you that are screaming racism, we know that exists, but what's going on in your neighborhood? Are you racist against each other? Do you know where your boys are? Because it's not just Caucasian people killing Black people. Black people are killing Black people. Let's take care of our home. Don't stress too much about yesterday. Don't worry too much about tomorrow, because you just might miss living today if you do. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I am Stacey Thomas. That's me everywhere, the @ symbol. And people can check out my talk show on my Facebook page. It's live on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. And that's what I got.
No, you don't. You got books, you got t-shirts, you got makeup.
Okay. So yeah, God is really showing me stuff, so making things happen. So I came out with my t-shirt line. The first shirt is it's business, I'm a boss. I do have those for sale. You can contact me. I have 3 published books: Sins of the Flesh 1 and 2, Secrets of a Suburban Chick, on Amazon.com. And I'm now doing Bedroom Candy, candy coated line for makeup. So And I tell people, for those that follow me, no, I don't know about makeup, but let's play in it together. So, contact me for candycoated.com/9085. That's it.
All of you at the end of each episode will go in the comments section and put anything that you would like to share with these videos as they're shared. Put your websites, put your Facebook pages. I want them to know who you are and how to find you. Brother Everett, imitate God on purpose every day. I may have changed it up a little bit, but we definitely want to imitate God. What is he every day, eternally? It's eternally, isn't it?
It's eternally as well as every day.
Okay, well, I didn't mess it up. Yeah, I don't need a blue pill. Say
it's dual. It's dual.
All right, so imitate God on purpose. Tell everybody your closing statements on dis-ease, and then tell them how to find you. I want you to include telling them about your book that's coming out, and your oils, and your wife's cupcakes.
All right. My closing statements is I want to first thank everybody on here with your energy. It's well needed in this world today. And according to the topic and where it went as far as dealing with faith and fear and how to rid ourselves of dis-ease, words are containers. And in our words, they actually they have the option to produce after their own kind. And I want to say that with Sister Yamaja as well as Sister Stacy, I've known Stacy for a little time. I love y'all energy. Sister Yamaja, what you are contributing to social media, your posts, it has done a lot, even for me. And, we haven't been friends that long. Yes. So just to know that your words, because in the scriptures, it says that the word was with God and the word was God and the word became flesh. So I want to challenge each one of us that the platforms that we have, social media platforms, we know that there's, the dis-ease that's going to be posted. We know that we're going to have the dis-ease in the world, but let us continuously be contributors of life through our words, through our posts, through our thoughts, because what we post, it expresses a lot of what we're thinking at that time. And if we allow the world to dictate what we're going to think as well as dictate to what we post, that's going to continuously contribute to the igniting of the dis-ease globally. So we need love to be expressed. And the poem or the working or the words that Sister Yamaja spoke of, those words are words of affirmations. And as saying a title, when you said a title, what came to my mind of a title is, with, the world, under a religious perspective, that the gospel is missing, and everything else is spoken. I think that, those words were God's pills. I always mess with words, and so the gospel is God's pills to a sick, sinful nation that has went in opposition to God, that's now infected with dis-ease. And so I believe that if we, as poets, writers, podcast developers, spiritual mentors and spiritual developers, if we start putting out words to shift the atmosphere, shift the regions in our neighborhoods, as Sister Stacy said, starting in our neighborhoods, begin as we walk, take our spiritual vibrations and frequency of the Holy Spirit and just carry that through. We see it in movies and superheroes. When I watch superhero movies and see the powers that the Avengers have and all that, these are only pictorial things that actually shows the possibilities of man and woman. So we have these things. We just have to, as we went, I think our last broadcast or before, we said childlike and childish. Let's take that childlike mind and vision ourselves as these superheroes that the world needs today, and begin to ignite the world with our energy, with our spirit, so we can break the diseases. And if enough people see us doing it, And they
Yes.
affected, like when they go on Sister Yamaja's page, Sister Stacy's page, and they feel what I feel, it'll do just that much, and then we can have people imitate us as we imitate God
Yes.
purposely every day. So that's
Amen.
my closing statement, to break the diseases of fear and have faith that we are world changers. We're on this platform, and God has chosen us to come out of the box, to not be like the normal norm of tradition, and bring to the world the mysteries, as the Bible says. There was a mystery in the Bible that those who were traditionally religious didn't understand. But the mysteries is that there's a greater in each and every one of us that we have to contribute to the world. And let us do that through our faith, through our words, and through the power of our spirit, as we contribute love instead of hate in a world that's full of dis-ease. We can break that. So that's what I like to say. You can reach me at Everett Gilmel on Facebook. You can reach me at Everett Gilmel on Instagram. I have Three Kings fragrance body oils that I do and sell. My wife is the creator of Herbal Delights Cupcakes, where she infused natural herbs. She has vegan, she has sugar-free, she has gluten-free, and she has natural. So what we do is we are a team, and we're just basically trying to change lives mentally, physically, and spiritually in an outreach manner, out of the box, out of the norm, and just basically bring life back to each individual that's willing to live again. So I have an upcoming book called Think and Grow Godly Rich, Rediscovering the Christ in You, the Hope of Glory. I have our beautiful host, Ms.B, that's actually presented in the book in the last chapter on perfection. God put my heart to share with her to be the one of perfection, because perfection is what we're all striving for. On that Sabbath day of rest, we are to rest in perfection, knowing that throughout the week we've done all that we can do in a perfect and perfected manner that God has called each and every one of us here to be here on earth. So again, thank you guys for allowing me to bring balance and be a part of this podcast and a part of this family of I call it a multicultural, a multi pot. It's a multiple pot of like they call it a jamboree, whatever. We have all the different stuff in the pot, but it's all good. It's all nutritional. So everything that was said today was so nutritional. And I thank you guys for your inspiration, your words of meditation. And I believe that I'm going to learn some things from you guys, each and every one of you all, because we all have something that we can learn from one another. Sister Lisa Hazelgrove, meditation is something that I'm actually treading on to better myself in, because I dealt with that fear, that anxiety, that worry. I have teenagers, I come from the streets of Baltimore, so I lived on that other side. And now look on the inside, looking out, it does, it can take away on you and being fearful for our younger generation and what they're up against out here in this dis-ease world. So Stacy, your love, your joy, and just who you are has always been wonderful between me and my wife, and knowing you, you was such a propeller of energy. And so Ms.B, you know how me and you are, our spirits are always connected. And so I thank God for each and every one of y'all. So just keep doing what we're doing, man. This is such a great platform, and I'm very thankful. I know it's going to do wondrous things because it's so different. It's not like a lot of platforms that we've come across. That's the thing that's so unique about it. This is a unique expression from God, where God is not in a box. He comes and speaks in so many ways, and he expresses himself in so many ways through so many people, but it's all for the love to break the diseases here on this earth. So thank y'all.
I just want to, Stacy's going to make one more comment, but Everett, I just want to comment that I did see you added to your name, Christ Life. What is it? Christ Life
Coach.
Very obedient. I had asked a lot of you different questions, and one of them was I asked Everett, in a perfect world, what would you like to do? And he's calling it out. He is a Christ life coach, and that's what we need to do. Speak into existence, walk into our destiny, Jeremiah 29:11. You know, he's got plans for us, and you know, he's now a Christ life coach, and I commend you on walking in that destiny, Everett. I really do. So Stacy has something to say about those delicious cupcakes. What about them cupcakes?
So I love his wife, right, Miss Benita? Awesome cupcakes. And meeting him and his wife, you see the God in them, you know who they are, right? And you get a feel for what kind of people they are. So when Maisha said to me she had cupcakes and she said herbal cupcakes, I said, I thought they were religious. She got some weed cupcakes. Bad thinking, bad thinking. And I didn't know how. I didn't ask her right away, but sooner or later she's like, no, Stacy. So Everett, please stress to the people what type of herbal cupcakes she has, because you may get all sorts of people contacting.
Yeah, you're right. Herbal is medicinal cupcakes. Whereas though, you know, you come home stressed, or you know, you have children that's in the they could be at risk of, you know, young diabetes. My wife, she's an RN nurse, and she worked in the dialysis center, so she come across a lot of people that were wanting to have sweet snacks, but you know, couldn't afford to risk, you know, igniting their diseases a little further than what they were. So, you know, God put on her heart to start something called Herbal Delights, where she infused natural herbs like lavender, chamomile, berries, and you know, different, you know, natural herbs that when you eat them, you know, you're actually getting, instead of popping a Tylenol or ibuprofens, you know, pharmaceutical drug, you actually have an opportunity to get a snack, but not at the risk of igniting you to the dangers that could come along with, you know, overeating. Because some people don't have the discipline to, you know, take 1 or 2 cupcakes or have a slice of cake. They may want 2 or 3. And that's not to say that you should do that, but you stand a better chance not to have the sugars and all the different, you know, dangerous ingredients, you know, that are inside a lot of these, you know, snacks that we have today, that's causing, you know, nutritional genocide to us and to our children. So yeah, it's medicinal herbs. It's not any kind of new CBD or
What's wrong with what's wrong with CBD oil drops? I use essential oils. You can't put. Don't even float
well,
there.
I'm new with it. I'm new. I know that, you know, you got people today using CBD oil in ill ways. You know,
Well, you know
as they say, you know, some people take that which is meant for good and use it for evil. So it's just medicinal. It's the medicinal natural herbs. And at request, whatever it is your request that you want. You know, if you want chamomile, if you want lavender, if you want a sage cupcake, you know, it's all good. It tastes well.
All right, everybody.
You can't tell the difference.
I am looking forward to our next episode. We ran a little long today. It's an hour. I like to try to keep it right around 45 minutes. So if you can watch this on replay, I appreciate it. But again, thank you so much for joining us right here on At the Table with Ms.B, Yamaja Jubilee, Stacy Thomas, Lisa Hazelgrove, and Christ Life Coach Everett William L. This is Ms.B, Positive with Ms.B. You can find myself and other podcasts at www.stormtalkradio.com. You can follow At the Table with Ms. B on our group on Facebook, At the Table with Ms. B. All right, everybody, I pray that we've said something today to encourage you to weather the storms. That's right. We like to talk to the storms in your life. Have a blessed day, everybody. Look forward to you next Thursday, not at 11 a.m., but 7 p.m. East Coast time. That's right. 7 p.m. East Coast time. And we're going to have a new topic every week. Lisa, what is our new topic for next week? Do you know?
I do.
Oh, what is it?
It's transformation, finding courage.
Ooh.
I'm scared. Never mind. I'm scared. All right. If she said it, so be it. Thank you, Yamaja, for reminding me to talk about next week's topic, which is transformation, finding courage. Man, I'm on that. That's where I'm at right now. I'm finding the courage to have some transformation in my life. So moving forward, everybody, next week, 7 p.m. East Coast time, right here on Storm Talk 365 and on the group page At the Table with Ms. B. Bye, everybody. Have a blessed one.
Bye.
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 Call me, Everett. Call me.